Welcome to part 2 of Arches on my channel. In this video, I hope to go through the second build, and in the next video, we will move on to the new update, which I seriously cannot wait for. It's... I mean, fuck. The last update came out in June, and this one came out in September, so yeah. Okay, so yeah, if you remember, the whole shit just happened with, the Echo shit, you know. Oh yeah, the Echo shit, you know. Cameron hesitates. Cameron, please tell me. I'm really sorry, but I hurt her, and it was awful, and I don't know, she just screamed. It was horrible. Floor seems to fall out from under Devin, and he feels like he's fallen into an abyss. Yeah, I fucking love the art in this game. It is so good. Cameron watches as the motel parking lot disappears into the night. They left most of their stuff behind the room, only bringing along what they absolutely needed. Cameron wanted to take it a bit slower to think things out before running away like this. Weirdly enough, it was Devin that was ushering him out as quickly as he could. Well, no, it made sense. What was truly weird was how Cameron had felt and how he still feels now. Despite what had just happened, despite the absolute horror of it all, there's a part of Cameron that still wants to stay. Cameron assumed that this is nothing like what Dev had seen in his previous investigations, and maybe he also felt that overwhelming feeling of wrongness. But it also feels wrong to just leave after hearing what he heard. He'd expected Dev to want to stay after Cameron told him about Lupita. And if Dev had asked him to stay, Cameron would have done so, only to search for better closure after hearing her scream. Despite Dev's calm appearance, Cameron knows that his mind must be in turmoil right now. Now, with the night ending like this, he thinks that maybe he shouldn't have told Dev what he heard. Yeah, he promised to be honest about it, but the hallucination, no. The vision felt like a lie somehow. Trick. It felt real, it happened. But it also felt like something nefarious was behind it all. He felt it when the wolf focused on it. As if that unseen something had taken the wheel and started steering things where it wanted them to go. Even if he has no idea what that something could be, Cameron hopes that's the case. The alternative is that the afterlife really is only suffering, and that would mean his mother's in the same place, that everyone's going to that place. Cameron squirms in his seat, the feeling of a suffocating dread creeping up under his neck. Drowning forever. Cameron suddenly turns to look at his boyfriend, unable to deal with the awkward silence any longer. Devin? Devin tilts his head slightly in Cameron's direction, brows raised, to show he's listening. Yeah, honey. He doesn't take his eyes off the road. Either because it's nighttime or more likely because of what they just dealt with, the bear is being notably cautious. Still, there's a sense of urgency in his driving, like he's trying to get them out of there as fast as he can. Cameron struggles to find the right words. Hey, let's talk when you're on the freeway, okay? I just want to focus right now. Cameron can't wait until then. Are we coming back? Cameron sees Dev's brows raised again in this immense surprise. No, of course not. We're done. I'm an idiot for doing this in the first place, and again, I'm sorry. Cameron can't quash the feeling that he should be the one apologizing right now. But there's a theme park in Peyton called Southwest Adventures. I thought about going there at the end of our investigation, but we could do that tomorrow instead. Dev paused, apparently waiting for a response, but Cameron isn't. But Cameron can't think of one to give him. I think it'd be fun. Cameron's almost certain that's the same word Devin used just before they left to describe how this investigation would feel. Fun. I think we need to come back. We can't just leave things like that. That was just so fucked. Cameron sees Dev grit his teeth and the coyote feels himself recoil a bit, like he did on a daily basis with Dylan. Sorry, No, you're fine. I'm just having trouble seeing the goddamn road. Let's leave it until I can see where I'm going, okay, hun? Coyote steels himself. He shouldn't ever feel afraid of Dev. He doesn't need to. I think we should come back tomorrow. Keep this going like you planned. There's something more to this, and I want to help find out what it is. He says it firmly, in a way that he hopes shows Devon that he's not completely fragile, even if he did break down the motel room. But Devon is quiet, and Cameron feels himself start to get a little frustrated that he's being ignored. But then the bear responds. No, I don't think so. I'll probably come back, but with another psychic. I'm not going to put you through that ever again. Despite knowing Dev meant nothing by that, Cameron feels offended. Like Devon doesn't think he's good enough or strong enough to do this. But I want to, especially if you're going to come back. I think I'm going to just sit at home knowing you're back out in this hellhole. Listen, Cameron, I've been to a lot of haunted places, but there's something different about this town. It just feels really off. Fucked like you said, and I don't want you anywhere near it. Now it's Cameron who grits his teeth. But I want to. Still wants it. I know you need to find answers, but after feeling what I felt, I need answers too. Dev's careful maneuvering along the broken road hits a pothole and the interior shakes. Devon winces. Babe, please, let's talk about this later. I just want to get us to Peyton safely right now. Just like that, Cameron's determination dries up. He hates himself for being such a coward. Things had always felt unequal in their relationship, but it was rare for Dev to just say it out loud, to tell the coyote what's good for him, even though Cameron told him what he wanted. It's nothing like it was with Dylan. The feeling is similar, and Cameron doesn't like that. Well, what if I don't want you to come back here either? Devon takes a deep breath, measure to keep calm. Then we can talk about it when we're safely back home. Cameron goes quiet again. We're halfway past the lake, the body of water looking like a giant dark pit, except for the moon glitters on its surface. And that's when Cameron sees something out of the corner of his eye. There's something on the road between two craters of broken asphalt. Cameron stares for several seconds, not sure if he's seen what he thinks he's seen. He waits for Devon to say something to wonder what the hell that is in front of them, but he says nothing, almost like he didn't see it. Yet, there it is, right in front of them. And it's right where Devon's about to go, and the bear isn't stopping. Cameron managed to jerk himself out of his stunned gaze. Oh my god, Dev, look! Huh? Dev finally looks at Cameron, his eyes off the road, and still the Jeep moves forward. Stop! Why isn't he stopping? Cutie is the first thing that comes to his mind. Time slows down, just like what happened back in high school right before he got hit by a car while skateboarding. He's more trying to react now than he did then, though, and he slides his arm under the seatbelt to get free and reaches across the center console. Grabs the wheel, and even though Dev is starting to brake, it's not fast enough and they're less than 20 feet away from hitting it. The coyote doesn't even think, acting on pure instinct. Cameron turns the wheel to the right, hard. Man, there's so much fucking art in this. Fucking hell, mate. I fucking love this game so much. Devon can't comprehend what Cameron's doing before they hit something. Devon can't comprehend what Cameron's... Before they hit something, the jolt is far worse than any pothole he did on the road. Devon is thrown into his seatbelt. In the back of his mind is where the Cameron is half out of his own seatbelt. Driven by what feels like pure reflex, Devon throws his arm across the coyote in an attempt to hold him back. Cameron's muzzle meets the bear's thick arm before his forearm smacks into the screen of the head unit. A numbing, tingling feeling explodes across his entire arm. Ah, fuck! Devon brings his arm to his chest, cradling as he winces. Are you alright? Cameron's breathless voice next to him is enough to reassure Dev that the coyote isn't seriously injured. The airbags hadn't even deployed, even though the impact had felt serious. Yeah, I'm a funny bone. What about you? Let me see your face. Dev tries to grab Cameron's muzzle and have a closer look at him. It's hard to see with only the glow of the Jeep's headlights, now dim from the swirling dust kicked up by the accident. But Cameron pulls away, opening his door to get out. Cameron, what? The coyote yelps as he seems to lose his footing immediately and falls hard. Cam! Devin buckles his seatbelt and almost tries to climb out Cameron's side of the Jeep. Then realizes what he's doing and opens his own door to get out, almost falling himself to as his feet touch uneven ground. Dust coats his mouth as he looks up the road and immediately can still see Echo from here. He knew this was going to happen. Something was going to prevent them from getting out. He could feel it since he started driving. He just didn't expect Cameron to be the one to do it. The Jeep's tilted forward, the front wheels wedged into a deep trench carved out by years of flooding along the edge of the road. Dev stumbles to the ground in the front of the Jeep, squinting against the headlights before looking down where Cameron had fallen. But he only sees blackness. Cameron! He starts to panic, seriously concerned that the coyote could have fallen into a sinkhole, but then... Over here! Dev looks back toward the road, the dust finally clearing, and sees that Cameron is already there, is standing in the middle of it, looking around confused like he's lost something. What the fuck are you doing? Dev stumbles back around the Jeep, just wanting to get the coyote back inside. He doesn't go running off somewhere. They already suspects Cameron's having a mental breakdown. If they don't get the hell out of here soon, Dev thinks he might just join him. I saw someone. Cameron, slow down. Let me see your face. It almost broke my arm. No, I know I did. Cameron ignores Dev's pause and are reaching out toward him and starts walking up the road, looking back and forth. Cam. Stress of the action thought of seeing his boyfriend walking back toward the evil town is too much for Devin. Grabs Cameron's arm, forcing him to turn around fully and face him. What the hell are you doing? Cameron flinches and raises his arms up, crossing one wrist over the other, covering his face like he thinks Devin is going to... Cameron, what? He just lowers his arms, looking around again. I saw something. Someone. It was like a little kid sitting on the road. Didn't you see them? Devin just wants to ask why Cameron acted like he was going to hit him. But the coyote is in such clear distress, the bear isn't sure what to say. Then Cameron looks at the Jeep to see, as if seeing what happened for the first time. Shit, I didn't mean to crash your car. I swear I saw someone. I wouldn't do that on purpose. Cameron's breath starts to become erratic, gasping for air. Honey, come here. I can't breathe. Dev wraps his arms around the coyote even as he starts to try and pull away. Let go. I need to go. Listen, Cameron. Breathe with me. Dev presses the side of Cameron's head to his chest and takes a deep breath. Remember? In and out, slowly. Devin keeps his voice upbeat, his expression cheerful, the complete opposite of what he's feeling right now. But showing how distressed he is clearly isn't helping the situation. So this breathing exercise is also for his benefit. The last time they'd done this was at least a few years ago now. And just like last time, it seems to work. The coyote fighting is gasping for a minute before his breathing becomes more steady, albeit a little shaky. They breathe in unison for a few minutes, the bear stroking Cameron's head like he had only half an hour ago in the motel room. Was it really only 2 hours ago that they'd been giddy at the thought of a paranormal investigation with his psychic boyfriend? Finally, Cameron pulls away gently. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. You said you thought you saw someone. I thought I did. I didn't mean to fuck up your car, though. Well, if you thought you saw someone, I'm glad you did that. Considering how slow we're going, I'd rather car run into dirt than run over somebody. Now just hold still for a sec so I can check you out. You fleece planted my arm pretty hard back there. Dev gently turns Cameron towards the headlights of the still-running car, lightly running his blunt claws through the fur. I thought it was an otter. I could see the tail and everything. Oh. Chaser Sydney. One of Devon's claws grazes over a small lump under Cameron's fur. From the ridge of his snout, and the coyote winces. Does that hurt? A little bit. I didn't even notice until just now. That's probably from my elbow. What about your arm? Are you sure it's alright? Cameron starts doing his own check of Devon's arm. Dude, my arm is flat. Ow! Barry yelps as Cameron prods right into a spot that is suddenly becoming very sore. That really hurt that much? Not really. Just surprised me. Really? Yep. See? Benny without pain. Yeah, I believe you. Just be careful with it. Cameron sighs, looking back at the Jeep. I'm going crazy. Relief Devon felt after seeing Cameron turn into his usual snarky self deflates at those words. What? No, you're not. You're just... We're both on edge right now. Well, it really did feel like I was losing my mind for a minute there. Thanks for helping me. Of course, now, just gotta check out the damage. Yeah, the back wheels aren't even touching the ground. Well, have a better look. Hang tight, babe. Alright. Devon starts to analyze the status of his Jeep, and he can tell right away that they aren't going anywhere. Both front wheels are almost buried in the sandy trench below, and both of the back wheels are definitely off the ground, the undercarriage balanced on the road's edge. Still, Dev gets in and, after telling Cam to stand clear, very gently tries to back out. The bear winces at the scraping sounds from the metal undercarriage, realizing how desperate he is to get out of here, considering how hopelessly stupid this attempt is. After realizing he's only spinning the wheels deeper into the dirt, he stops. The bear turns off the engine, sighing, and pressing his head against the steering wheel. Sure, it sucked that his Jeep was probably all fucked up now, but he can easily afford another one. More than anything, he just wanted to be out of Echo. He thinks back on how strange it was that Cameron immediately tried to convince him that he didn't do it on purpose. Devon didn't need to be convinced because he hadn't even considered that was the case. Because of how he brought it up. Devon quickly shuts that down, deciding now isn't the time for shitty thoughts like that. Finally, the bear gets out, fixing a smile on his face again, so Cameron won't feel bad. Alright, so... Cameron? Bev looks around to his dismay, spots the coyote a few ways up the road, toward Echo again, though he's standing off to the side, right next to the lake. He's looking over the edge, down at the water. Hey, Cameron, you alright? The bear jogs up the coyote, putting an arm around him. You alright? Cameron finally turns to look at the bear. Yeah. Stay next to me, alright? I want to be close after everything that's happened. I was just trying to stay out of the way. Are you looking for something? It looks over the edge of the murky water below. Almost immediately after, the bear instinctively pulls back, taking Cameron with him. Yeah, I just thought that because otters are good swimmers, that maybe... Cameron let a fake laugh. Sorry, I'm crazy, don't mind me. Come on, don't do that. Cameron goes quiet. Seeing just how unhappy Cameron is, the bear takes a deep breath, deciding to tell him. Back in the early 2000s, the otter kid drowned in the... Right, so it is following the chronology of the Echo. Okay. Sydney. Sydney, indeed. Back in the early 2000s, an otter kid drowned in this lake. I wonder maybe that's what you saw? Really? Yeah, along with a few dozen other people of the last 70 years. I have a list for the lake and the place we're gonna go. So, you're saying I saw that because I'm psychic? You don't seem very thrilled with that idea. I'm not thrilled with any of this anymore. Only reminds Dev that Cameron could see anything, terrible things, and that could lead to more mental anguish for his boyfriend. Anyway, we are stuck pretty badly. What do we do? Don't worry, we got options. We want to get to the highway, but it's a bit of a walk. I think about 4 or 5 miles. That might be a bit too much with it being dark and on a half-destroyed road. I think we should try to get a little bit of sleep and start walking at dawn. We'll have light, and if we keep up a good pace, we'll get to the hut before it gets too hot. Build a flag down hell. Cameron was quiet. So what do you think? Remember a while back when I asked what we'd do if there was an emergency? You said that there was still cell service in parts of the town. Did I? Yeah, Dev, you know what I'm talking about. It makes way more sense to find cell service right next to us and call for help rather than walk 5 miles. I don't think it makes much sense at all, Cameron. We were looking for trouble, Devin. I think we'll be fine as long as I'm not trying to see shit. But you just saw... It sounded for a few excruciating seconds. I just want to get the fuck out here and get you home. Cameron's ears twitched. Dev raises his voice, which seemed to reverberate in the silence. But the coyote just goes on standing there, arms crossed like they almost always were. Yeah, psychic or not, I'm unstable. We both know that already. No. But I'm not walking miles through scorpion and rattlesnake-infested desert when our solution is right here. Babe, please. I have a bad feeling. Sorry, who's the psychic here? Dev, I can do this, trust me. We're outside where nothing's haunted. We'll be looking for anything. So I'm going. Oh, but that's where you're wrong, Cameron, because this land is cursed. Or whatever. Yeah, it's not just the town. It's the fucking land. Of course, you guys don't understand what I mean by that because I haven't gotten far enough into the smoke room to basically get there and, yeah. Cameron! I prefer if you came with me, though. God damn it! Devin hurries to catch up with his boyfriend, sliding his paw into Cameron's and gripping it tightly. While there is unequal footing in this relationship, I can clearly tell there is. I'm with Devin on this because I know what Echo is. I know how Echo operates, and y'all need to get the fuck out of there, even if it means walking 4 to 5 miles. I don't care. You need to get out of there no matter what. Cameron has a look on his face like he's a bit pleased with himself, and Devin can't figure out why. It's like the coyote thinks he's winning some kind of game, and Devin has to grit his teeth so he doesn't start an argument all over again. Just an hour ago, Cameron was sobbing after seeing and hearing terrible things, and now he's walking back in the same direction like it's nothing. Maybe the coyote's more resilient than the bear had always thought. Or maybe the bear is finding how non-resilient he himself is. His stomach growls loudly, and when Cameron jokingly asks if he's hungry, Devin lies and says yes. In reality, it's some anxiety, something he isn't used to feeling all that often. Lucky bitch. Lucky fucking bitch over here with... God, I wouldn't wish anxiety on my worst enemy. You don't even want to know. Whenever I'm, out in public and I just walk up on myself, the anxiety really starts to kick up. It's not fun, okay? I can't even get a job because I'm fucking... God. The bear only finds comfort in gripping Cameron's paw even tighter and promising himself that he won't let anything else bad happen to them. Well, you can try. You can try. Not like I'm being condescending or anything, but seriously, Devin, I don't think you can, stop this Echo business. It's... Cameron presses up tightly against Devin's side, breathing in this comforting scent of his cologne. Cam's show of confidence has mostly diminished at this point, especially as they're passing the motel. The coyote has to remind himself why it is that he insisted on doing this when Devin offered a perfectly reasonable, if slightly exhausting alternative. Being exhausted is preferable to PTSD, as if you don't already have that. I mean, I'm not gonna diagnose him, but I would think he would already have that considering his past, I don't know, but like trauma in general is like PTSD, in a sense. Like, I don't know. That's kind of fucking weird to say, but it's like something. It's a thing I heard from a psychology major. So I don't know. Also, I'm just gonna say it. I relate more to Cameron as a character than I do Dev, even though they're both amazing characters and I like them a lot. But just Cameron, I don't know. I like him a lot more. Cameron can sense the bear being to treat him in a way that he didn't like. Talking to him like he was fragile, like the slightest touch could tip him over, or he'd shatter on the asphalt. He wants to prove that he can deal with this, which is why he has to smirk at himself right now, because he definitely wouldn't have made it this far if Dev weren't by his side. Right now, the bear has a steely grip on Cameron's paw, making it clear that he's letting go. Meanwhile, their free paws hold their phones, checking every now and then for a signal. Anything yet? No, wouldn't we get signal at the same time anyway? Well, I assume I'll get it first. Oh, because mine's on an Android? Oh. Cam. You're an Apple fanboy. Yep. If only I had the brave engineer to figure out how to work one. Actually, maybe I should turn mine off when you search for a signal. We should keep some battery life in one of our phones, just in case. Oh yeah, good idea. Your battery probably done before you found service anyway. Cameron turns his phone off while Dev looks on. I wouldn't worry too much about it, though. It's not like we're lost in the woods or something. And I let like 3 people know where we're going. We're gonna be fine no matter what, babe. Famous last words if I ever heard them. Right up there with, "Here goes nothing, and I think I took too much." Wow. Of course, a former drug addict would make a joke like that. God, I can't. Stuff with like drug use and drug addiction now just really fucking hits way too close to home after Kurt, you know? Like, God. Yeah, right, our last words are gonna be, "Holy shit, we lived to 100. I'm pretty sure I already screwed my chances with all the drugs I did. Along with eating fudge cakes for lunch whenever I'm at work. Ugh, seriously, Cam? Hey, it's in the vending machine right next to my cubicle. Well, we're changing that as soon as we get back. How are you gonna do that aside from stalking me at work? I'll make your lunch. They're gonna have to start working from home on Monday, remember? I'll have plenty of time. Hell, I'd be surprised if they don't start making you work from home soon. We'll be like co-workers. Fat chance. They don't give a shit about our health there. We'll see. Either way, you'll be living to 110. So you'll have plenty of time to think up your famous last words. You must wonder if their meandering conversation is purposeful on Dev's part, if only to distract him from what's crossed the road. Either way, the Cody is thankful for it. Only if you make it there with me. God. You know, yes, this game does take place in 2020, which means, yes, COVID. So, fuck that. Fuck that, mate. About 15 minutes later, Cameron starts to become a bit more agitated. They're in a dirt road at this point, and every now and then they walk past crumbling structures of what used to be houses and trailers. You think the self-service stopped working since you read about it? I don't know, this is pretty sporadic. Maybe it's a trap? Maybe it's a fucking trap that Brian uses to lure people? I don't know, just a guess. Who said this exactly? The Paranormal Forum peeps. I hope they're trustworthy. They are, at least they have no reason to lie. I think the paranormal gives people incentive to lie, especially if you're not gifted. Sure, but we're talking about cell phone service, not ghosts. Could also be a scheme by those crazy locals to lure their victims into town. Okay, Cam, taking the words out of my mouth. You're joking, but I know you're still worried about that, so I'll point out that it's highly unlikely because that would leave too much of a paper trail. I'm not worried, especially now that we've made it this far and nothing... Oh shit! What? Damn it, I just had a bar for a split sec. Bert waves the phone around over his head, spinning in a slow circle. What the hell, Dev? You scared me. Sorry, babe. Anyway, I think it came from this direction. Dev indicates a rather large grouping of trees off the side of the road that forms a bit of a miniature the forest. But that would mean they're near Leo's house, right? That, like, they're near Leo's house and also the Brian's trip. Fuck. Okay. Wonderful. Of course. I just have to be the creepiest thing in sight. You want to hang back while I check it out? No. Is that a question? Cameron doesn't respond, so sliding his paw into the one Dev's offering. They start to make their way through the sagebrush. I need to go piss. I'll be back. Alright, I'll be back. And I just had a thought, like, it's weird how I'm, like, adapting, like, Micah's kind of terminology to describe the hum, you know, like, hotspot and all that sort of shit, because, yeah, it's just easier. Plus, Micah is a fucking hottie, so, yeah. Oh, God, imagine all the ticks we're picking up. Don't worry, babe, we'll come until you're throwing it out of here. Want me to carry you? I'm fine. Alright, just don't them about the tarantulas and scorpions. You suck so much ass. Your ass, the only ass I eat. Wow, okay. You're kidding, right? No way Cam is the dom. No fucking way. Dev grunts in a heavy, bearish ways. Cameron wraps his arms around his neck and lifts his feet off the ground, forcing Dev to bridle carry him. Chuckling, Dev carefully makes his way through the rough terrain while the coyote awkwardly keeps his feet lifted high, so they don't have to brush the sage. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, this is near Brian's trailer. Oh, fuck. Dev finally lowers the coyote near the edge of the forest and they stand there, looking into the blackness. Cameron can only see the branches outlined against the moonlight, but otherwise it's almost like looking into a void. The feeling of emptiness is emphasized by the sudden quiet desert around them. So I've got like one bar. That isn't working. You know, trees should make it harder to get a signal. Can you make a call? Well, I can't have my insurance app, so I don't know what the preferred towing companies are, and I'm just sort of realizing that most probably wouldn't come out here since Flake Road doesn't exist anymore. Flake Road? Something like that. I'm sure it's not that, so we're not getting towed out, and you don't even know the name of the road we crashed on. Are you saying we're stuck here? Like, really stuck? Well, my Jeep probably is, not us. The highway's still within walking distance, remember? I'm such an idiot. I can't believe I got us into this mess. Hey, I don't give a shit about my Jeep. Besides, I just got an idea. Dev taps his phone a few times, then puts it up to his ear, but only for a few seconds before he scowls. What? Call dropped, but it rang for a sec. You're so dead. I've killed us. Oh, stop it, honey. I'll try texting. Who are you texting? An old friend of ours. Who? Damn it, I swear the bar keeps disappearing every time I try to send. I'll try some different angles. Dev is hunched over his phone, tapping away. Cameron just sighs, letting Dev do whatever it is he's doing. Despite the bear's attempts to placate him, the coyote knows that they both know this is his fault. It's not, though. Why don't you just tell me what a stupid idiot piece of shit I am? Cameron doesn't want to admit it even in his mind, but one thing he liked about Dylan was that he didn't sugarcoat things for the coyote. He'd tell him when he was an idiot, either with words or fists. The coyote turns his attention back to the forest, staring into the dark. Dev doesn't know anything about him and Dylan, and Cameron sure as hell isn't ever going to tell him. That's not healthy. Especially that sometimes he was the one to swing first. While you're being fucking abused, you really aren't going to defend yourself? Is that really not something you're going to do in a situation where being fucking abused? Really? And not telling your fucking boyfriend about it? Yeah, that's totally healthy, Cam. I'm sure that's going to lead to something fantastic down the line. He always lost, but the few hits he'd land always felt worth it. That would be a real treat for you, Dev. Not only is your boyfriend crazy, he's violent too. Does he even know you at all? Chill runs up Cameron's spine. That didn't feel like his own thoughts, even though it came from inside his head. Cameron moves closer to Devin, rubbing his arms. Oh, just send, damn it. Devin? Just a sec, count. A few already went through. Just gotta confirm some things with him. The void seems to get bigger, and even though he wants to look away, Cameron can't. He knows he's sensing again, even though he isn't meaning to. I don't know what it was. That's what really bothers me about it. I think I'd handle something like a ghost, but not something like that. Oh, okay. No, this is the dude. Okay. So it was me and my wife taking a walk down the old forest like we always did, and then I don't know. I just got this weird feeling everything went real quiet. Then this voice started. A man's voice, but it was kind of eerie, like it wasn't real. How to explain was like it was an electronic thing. A machine. It started yelling at us in a sort of playful way, like it was making fun of us or taunting us. Said things like, the devil walks beside you and I'm taking you to hell. Weird crap like that. It was held from the tops of the tree and you could kind of hear it go up and down and come closer like it was swinging through the branches. And yeah, it scared us because it didn't make sense, the voice where it was coming from, what it was saying. None of it made sense. And that's the scary part. So we ran. And then it said some nasty things about my wife, so I picked her up and ran as fast as I could. Later she told me she looked over my shoulder into the trees. I had a hard time explaining it, which I understand because I can't explain it at all, but she said it was a shadow. A shadow person that was moving through the branches. She said light bent in a weird way around its body like it was encased in a glass globe or something. She didn't say much else about it. She doesn't like talking about it, neither do I. I'm only telling you because I feel like there needs to be a record of it somewhere. Just feels wrong to go out this life without, I don't know, letting people know that unexplainable shit happens to a lot of people and how we figure out why. And this might not be important not me important, but I had dreams afterward where I'd be in the forest and this shadow creature would come frowning out into the open. And then sounds would come from where its mouth would be. I'd hear a young man screaming for help, all distorted like he was recording a tape. And then there'd be this high-pitched laughter. Shit! Did you hear that? That laugh? Yeah, sounded like a drunk dude kind of far away. You screamed that made me scream. It was like a cackle, like a cartoon witch or something. It was right next to us. I've heard it before. Well, I wouldn't say it was like a witch. It was kind of high pitched, I guess. But again, it was pretty distant. I think we should go. What? Why? I think there's a drunk hick or something. I'm already done messaging Artie. Something bangs like a screen door swinging closed not very far away. Who's that squealing? Hey, you, Duke. Got me a 12 gauge right here that'll make it squeal twice as loud as you're snooping around my property again. His voice drops to a whisper. Holy shit. Then before Cam can fully absorb exactly what's happening, Dev is pulling him along, running full tilt through the sagebrush toward the road and back toward Lake Emma. Okay, yeah, a man screaming and a high-pitched laugh. I wonder what that could be. I wonder, could it possibly be one of Brian's victims? Good God, man, like, everything is so interconnected in Echo, it's kind of weird. Devin's feet ache from the plethora of rocks he trampled on, the tough pads of the undersides, feeling almost torn up from the rough terrain. He's thankful, though. If only for the fact that he'd run himself and Cameron. If only for the fact that he hadn't run himself and Cameron into a cactus. Dev. Cameron's voice jerked with every running step. We're almost there. Dev huffs and puffs for air, now aware that he's a bit more out of shape than he realized. He hadn't run in earnest for at least a few years. Dev, we're out of the town. The bear slows down, and then, now that his stuck Jeep is in sight, and he finally lets go of Cameron's paw, before doubling over to rest his paws on his knees, wheezing. Fuck, give me a minute. Jesus, are you okay? It sounds like you're dying. Dev? My fucking thighs cramp like a motherfucker, holy shit! Dev's large rear hits the ground with a thump as he reaches down to massage the back of his thigh. Oh, thank God. For what? Lean your back. Before Dev can even follow the direction, Cameron takes the bear's right leg and slowly starts lifting it up, making Dev spasm as the cramping muscle is slowly stretched out. Oh, fuck! This is what I get for not running since, like, college. Cam gently rocks the leg back and forth. You've ran since then. Remember that stupid company triathlon thing we did, where you carried me on your back and ran across the soccer field? Despite the light conversation, Dev sees Cam looking over his shoulder, toward the town, like he's waiting for a mob of hillbillies to come raging up the road. Man, I told you, Dev, the people here are psycho. Dev grunts as Cameron stretches his leg back again. I think he wasn't being serious, but yeah, you were right. All the more reason to get the fuck out of here. Dev finally pulls his foot back, gingerly getting to his feet while continuing to rub at his thigh. I've never had a cramp so painful. I guess I'm getting old. Take it easy next time. You were more scared than I was. You said yourself was just a drunk hick. You forgot the part where he got a shotgun. Yeah, I'd be more surprised if he didn't have one. Do you think he's gonna come looking for us? They're not hard to find out here. Sound like you thought you were some other hick. I think we're fine. I suppose you can put trailer trash in the same category as hick, so that makes sense. Holy shit, this fucking... God, like, throat was itching so hard there. We can keep an eye out for it for right now, though, just in case. Who did you say you were texting again? Already from college. He just happened to be up and he's still living in Mesa. Said he'd drive out here right away so we could be here in like 3 hours. Huh. Why already, though? I don't know, he was at the top of my contacts list and I knew he still lived in the States, so we gave it a shot. He can only give us a ride. He could give us a ride at least, I guess. We got one of those massive trucks, so he might be able to pull us out. His last mission said he'd be here in 3 hours or less. Well, I guess that's not bad. As long as we're out of here by morning, and I don't want you getting caught out in the heat all day. We got a shit ton of water. If we do cool down. Devin waves his paw at the lake. No! No, bitch. No. Cameron stares at the lake, seeming to think, then looks back at Dev. Listen, while we were in the forest, I don't know, I didn't see anything, but I think I did some light touch sensing the right way. Dev's upbeat mood disappears in an instant. What? Why would you do that? Well, it kind of just happened. I made sure not to interact or anything, and it was just fine. At least for the most part. What I heard was creepy. Okay, well now I'm going to tell you to be careful again, because I don't want to repeat what happened in the motel. Well, like I said, I couldn't exactly help it. Anyway, do you know about a shadow person in the forest that spoke with a distorted electronic voice? Dev is caught off guard. He knows Cameron's trying to take the focus off the fact that he's still messing around with the supernatural in a dangerously supernatural place. But he also knows exactly what Cameron's referring to. The chapter in Haunted Echo titled Entities of Static described just that. And in the thick of trying to figure out who to call, he hadn't realized that was the forest. You know, I really kind of want to read that book. I'm not going to lie. I kind of really want to read that. To see what's in it, you know, and apply my knowledge of the games to it. Dev's surprise must be pretty obvious as Cameron grins. No way, am I right? Cameron's sudden joyous reaction surprises the bear. Well, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Can you believe this? Sorry, I don't know why I'm so happy. It's just... There's a fucking reason for me being the way I am. I can't deny it anymore. It's hard to explain, but that kind of changes my entire life. Cameron's bottom lip trembles with emotion, and Dev shakes off his feelings of unease, drawing him into a hug. Come here. I know what you mean, baby. Well, I don't personally know, but I've wanted you to feel that way for a long time. I'm really happy for you. I feel like I can do something. I don't know, maybe even help people with this. Cameron's voice is muffled against Dev's chest. Oh, sure, of course. Let's find a better place than here, okay? Dev nuzzles Cameron reassuringly, but the coyote doesn't answer. And even though that bothers the bear, he doesn't press the issue. Just wanting Cameron to feel happy for now. Cameron sits in the trunk of the Jeep, legs hanging out over the edge, dangling toward the ground that's further away than usual due to the tilt. You see the slow transition here? Like, in the beginning, Cameron was so fucking, like, scared to be here, and all of a sudden the roles have reversed. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing that the person with the most mental issues wants to stay. You know? That's not a good thing. Considering the way Echo works, the way the Echo entity works. Yeah. Yeah, not good. Meanwhile, he fiddles with his old acoustic guitar that had been stashed in the Jeep for at least a year, tuning it slowly. He hadn't even remembered it was there until they'd folded down the seats for a place to try and sleep. He'd last played it at Devin's parents' house because they wanted to hear him perform, and he'd left it in there in the Jeep afterward. He hadn't had a reason to play it since. The rest of the night or early morning, really, hadn't been terrible. Dev was easily comfortable. The hard surface was not all that different from his side of the mattress, which was rock hard compared to Cameron's much squishier foam. He had tossed and turned until Dev finally pulled him to lay his head on the bear's stomach, the soft, warm surface enough to lull Cameron into a dozing state of consciousness while Dev snored loudly. He'd gotten used to the snoring after all these years and now found it more comforting more rather than annoying. It was a good night, considering the circumstances. But Dev was unsure about sleeping in the tilted Jeep at all because it gave him a bad feeling. He also had a bad feeling about Cameron going back to the motel with him, so he'd been left here alone while the bear gathered up the rest of their stuff. 5 hours had passed since Artie texted Devin, so the bear had been getting antsy about that as well. They had a bit of an argument, and Cameron only agreed to stay behind when Dev promised to go back to that forest to text Artie again. Now Cameron sits here moping, the feeling of a lopsided relationship returning. I suck at guitar. He almost to himself quietly out of habit, knowing people didn't like hearing it since he was good enough, which had been his goal. All his singer-songwriter idols played guitar, and he wanted to be just like them. He'd forced himself to learn how to become good enough, with all the awkward fingering, the constant tuning, and the pain of holding down steel strings with finger pads, even after he built up calluses. That's how I describe guitar in general. Pain. Preferred piano, and that's what he used to write all his music. The devastatingly sad men of the 90s Northwest indie music scene didn't play piano. They played guitar. Because they were all so rugged and tough, molded by the logging town they originated from. Turns out that one's image is just as important in indie as it is in pop, despite the former trying to convince itself it isn't. So Cameron had tried to conform to that, and in the end it hadn't mattered. The hours and hours dedicated to learning the instrument through high school and college now felt wasted. Still, the feeling of an instrument is familiar in his paws, even if his fingers are already getting sore. He tries to think of one of his less embarrassing songs, one of the ones where he wasn't just wearing the influence of cloudy, dreary northwestern cities on his sleeve, even though that's where he's from. He tried and failed to duplicate the poetic and opaque lyricism. Instead, he found himself slipping back again and again to the style of his own generation, while his idols of the 90s wove lyrics that forced the listener to delve into something complex to find the metaphors and symbolism. Singer-songwriters born in the 90s, like himself, presented their lyrics in a more literal, honest way that often described specific situations with seemingly nothing hidden. To Cameron, it's two sides of the same coin. Instead of discovering meanings and complexity, it's about discovering complexity and simplicity. He sighs, deciding his tune well enough. He glances up, making sure Devin isn't heading back before playing. He's barely out of practice, but he slowly starts to warm up. Cameron sings quietly, almost under his breath. This particular song got the attention of an independent label on the West Coast after one of their scouts heard on a college radio station. They'd signed him in his junior year of college. Looking back, it was the high point of his life. David celebrated in earnest, happily telling him that he'd make more money than he himself ever would. But what Cameron didn't realize was that even after being signed, he could still be dropped without releasing any of his music. And after it was probably the lowest point in his life, they did just that. Dropped over text message with his agent saying that the demos he made in the studio weren't up to their quality standard. That hurt a lot, because I knew it was true. He'd been nervous the entire time, and his output wasn't even close to what he was capable of. Though he tried to comfort himself with the idea that most musicians weren't alone these days, his own postings on the internet barely got more than a few dozen listens. 1,000, no. Then he finally realized that he was in for it for the wrong reason. His peers just liked playing music, throwing stuff into the ether, whether anyone heard it or not. Cameron needed an audience to stay motivated to be famous, so in a way, he fucking deserved it. At least Devin never brought it up. Cameron stops playing, having seen brownish fur out of the corner of his eye. He thinks it's Devin, immediately feels his face flush, freezing, just sitting there. This is why he didn't play or sing in a serious way these days. Now it just feels like showing off a skill he's never really skilled in in the first place. But after a while, he doesn't hear anything. No voice, no footsteps. Embodying that it was embarrassment, Cam looks up the road where he'd been certain that his boyfriend had been watching him. Dev? The silence is heavy and thick. A weird feeling and everything real quiet. Cameron stares up the empty road, the feeling of unease growing until he finally shoves his guitar to the side and pulls out his phone, tapping on a mindless gaming app to distract himself. No, not doing this again. Not right now. And even though the road remains empty, and even though the sun shines brightly above, illuminating everything around him, the feeling that was becoming a very familiar dread continues to grow. Then, that light shining down everything changes, shifting to a more golden glow. What the hell's going on? Cameron had a few bad trips in his days, in the past, shrooms being the worst, and that was what gave him his first panic attack. In a strange way, this feels very similar. Please, not now. I have control, and I'm saying not now. Oh, control. Shit! That voice, well, that feeling, it instantly made all the fur in the back of his neck stand up. Dev, come back now, please. Cameron starts walking up the road toward Echo just under a mile away. Panic creeps up his neck like he's drowning. Until last night, he hadn't had panic attack in over 2 years. Now it's like his brain is relearning the spiraling process of gasping for air that's readily available. It still feels out of reach. Fuck you, game. Stop. He fights the urge, counting, trying to remember the pace of Dev's steady breaths. He hadn't wanted to reject the idea that he needed Dev to face... Hadn't he wanted to reject the idea that he needed Dev to face his fears? Doesn't he know how to handle this and how to do it safely? Cameron also knows that running to Dev only make things worse for his boyfriend. Did he want to stress him out even more? Cody stops, then turns around slowly. Just like that, the feelings of panic and terror slowly fade away to be replaced by a feeling of purpose. Something solid. Something resolute in its existence. Something that's already happened. Nothing can be done to change it. A feeling of acceptance. God, that's beautiful CG art, I swear. Cameron's walk slowed to a more measured pace, mirroring someone just outside of his view. In another place. No, in this exact same place, just in a different time. Cameron knows what's happening. and he questions what he's about to do. With this new feeling of calm assuredness, the coyote decides to let it happen. Dev didn't want him doing this because he's had a change of heart, but so is Cameron, and this is his choice to make. So he lets it happen, and he senses this person. A girl, feline, walking just like him, years and years ago. She tries to keep her sobs quiet walking along the road by the lake. She'd been looking forward to this for 2 months. She'd saved up money from babysitting jobs to buy her own dress, her own fake jewelry, and her makeup. Her father had found the makeup a week ago and threw it away, telling her only bad things happened to girls who wore makeup. Even then, she'd still had the dance to look forward to. But now James, her ex from last year, had ruined it. He'd shown up drunk, proposed to her, then cussed out her new boyfriend, who'd only been seen for a month now, and left. At least now she's glad she doesn't have to have the makeup on, with how wet her eyes are. This has been the last dance of the year at Echo High, and she's worried she's going to have to graduate with no boyfriend at all, and no money to go anywhere. Lost in her thoughts, she notices fast, pounding footsteps only seconds before it happens. Before it happens. She sees James as it happens. She realizes what's happening at the same moment. Knowing him, this is actually something she expected. And in that moment, she decides that maybe this is for the best. Cameron! Lost in the vision, Cameron feels himself recoil from something touching him. Cameron loses his balance, windmilling his arms comically, and he has a split second to recognize Dev. He bears his paw out like he'd been resting on the coyote's arm. The look of shock is mirrored in his boyfriend's face, before he goes over the edge and straight into the lake. Cameron! Coyote expects to go under and stay under, just like the girl from Echo High School. But a jolt goes through his body as his rear lands on a rocky surface, just a foot underwater, and Cameron cries out loudly. Fuck! Cameron looks up to see Dev getting ready to jump in. I'm fine. First, Cameron is just embarrassed, like he got caught doing something he shouldn't, which he knows is the case in Dev's mind. It's not as deep as it used to be. What? He climbs out with Dev's help, though. That embarrassment changes to anger. Coyote grunts and snarls quietly as he automatically starts stripping off his clothes, his plaid shirt and jeans sticking to his soggy fur. Dev hovers over him, trying to help, but mostly getting in the way. Dev, you have a list of people who died here, right? What? What are you talking about? You just fell in the lake. Stop talking about this shitty town. Let me make sure you're... Oh, that's real rich coming from you. I've been saying that to you past 5 years, and yet here we are, so no. I won't stop. Give me the list or I'll just look it up myself. Dev glares, making himself look big, but Cameron doesn't budge, even though in that moment he realizes his phone got wet, and he can only hope that it's still going to work after this. After a few seconds, the bear deflates. Please, I just want to be out of here. I'll do whatever you want afterward. Let's just go home first. It cools Cameron's outrage for the time being, never having seen Dev look so defeated. We will go home. I'm sorry I'm being like this, but you have to understand that this is changing everything for me. I just need this for a little bit, okay? Okay, I'm leaving your son until we're out of this town, okay? Didn't I tell you this is a bad idea at the restart? Cameron tries to lighten the mood a bit, not liking the conflicts they were having in this little trip. They hardly had any before coming here. Now they have such different ideas what they should be doing. It's like a tug-of-war. Dev takes out his phone, bringing up the document he'd been using to map out the supernatural happenings and history of Echo. So, it was a girl, a teenager, a bobcat from like the 50s, I think. A student from Echo High School. Dev raises his brows, scrolling slowly on his phone. Then he looks back up. Yeah, June 1954. An 18-year-old bobcat drowns in the lake in what is thought to be a suicide. So the fucker got away with it? Who? How does your tail feel, by the way? Dev is running his paw along his tail, feeling out the vertebrae. Karen finds the bear disinterested in all this more and more irritating, especially now that he's found what feels like his purpose. He can help somehow. Dev hits a bruised spot in his tail and the coyote winces before shoving his paw away. Ow, not now, Dev, listen! Her ex-boyfriend killed her. I saw him run up and push her into the lake. Did you have to experience that? Do you feel okay? Dev, I'm not important here. This is about someone who got murdered and some piece of shit got away with it. First of all, don't kill yourself on important. You're still alive and you need to keep it that way by not falling to lakes because of these awful visions. I need to tell their family or at least someone so people know the truth. Dev frowns deep to the coyote. Listen, babe, I know you can see things that I can't, but I gotta be honest and say that no one's gonna care. They're dead. The girl, and more than likely your ex, too. That's short-sighted as hell, Deb. He could definitely still be alive. I mean, he's lived a full life after murdering someone. And she might have siblings who are still alive, or I don't know. I think someone probably gives enough of a shit to want to know. And then what? You go up to them and tell them you're a psychic and you had a vision of their loved one being murdered. Besides, I wouldn't be surprised if everyone knew what happened. A lot of times they do. There just isn't enough evidence. Cameron feels his face getting hot, glaring at the asphalt. You wanted me to do this, and you wanted answers. Why are you holding me back now? Because I'm terrified right now of this town, of the ghosts, of you getting hurt somehow because of the rate things are going. That's probably what's gonna happen. I want to know where Lapita is, but she died because I made stupid mistakes. I can't have the same thing happen with you. Cameron's face gets hot again as he realizes Dev is about to cry and his resolve wavers. He takes a step forward to hold Dev like the bear had held the coyote so many times, but then the two of them look up to see a rather small sedan pulling up the road, a figure inside waving enthusiastically through the windshield. What the hell? Where's his truck? Arturo, really? Fucking Maximilian Arturo. Good grief. Sliders reference, sorry. Dev, Cameron, sorry I'm late. I had trouble finding this road, and I had trouble driving on it. Did I catch you in the middle of something? Where the hell is your truck? Eh? Look at my Jeep! I told you I was stuck, man! Well, this is not the reason I was expecting. I thought you just wanted to ride. Besides, I even pulled you out, your Jeep's fucked, I can tell from here. Be nice, Dev, he's doing us a favor. Hey, Cam. Hey, Artie, I fell in the lake, so that's why I'm half naked right now. That's hilarious. Did you push him in, Devin? Artie makes me feel like I'm back in college. Oh my god! Hey, are you guys ghost done? Can I join in before we head out? Nope. Why not? Because we're done. Dev, we can probably walk around a little bit before we go. We went on a really long drive. What? Dev sounds incredulous and Cameron can understand why, but despite what the bear said moments ago, he still wanted to explore further. Cameron knows that once he leaves, he'll probably never come back to this place again. Damn, did the two of you switch places or something? Anyway, I gotta agree with Cam. I gotta stretch my legs out a little bit. Dev looks down at Cameron, apparently at a loss for words. Cameron can't meet his gaze, so he looks down the road toward Echo, toward the place he's positive has more answers to all his questions. He needs this. No, he doesn't, no. No, you don't. You fucking don't. You fucking don't. Good God. Okay, so that's the end of this video, fuckers. We're good. I think that's around the end of the last update, so yeah, we're done. We're done for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good fucking day.